Okay guys, we have another box, and I guess it's not a surprise what it is. They packed it really well with lots of tape on the outside of the box, and not much jiggle in it, but there is a lot of tape. This came all the way from China in this box. Now, having this guitar was also a surprise to me. I never thought I would ever buy one of these types of guitars, and I never thought I would buy an Ibanez guitar either. But once I bought the Ibanez guitar, I thought, what the hell? Now, there's been a bunch of, reviews and demonstrations of these guitars on YouTube for years now. So I guess we know what we're going to expect from the colors and everything. This one's a blue. So they put bubble wrap in the bottom, and not just left it in the box, which was nice, like we've seen other guitars come. Plastic bag. Oh, and little wrenches up there. Nothing else in the box, is there? Nope. Just foam. Alright, let's see. And there it is. And there it is. What really attracted me to this guitar was the beautiful neck. First thing. Besides being an Eart, yeah, the beautiful neck, 5-piece neck, just absolutely, gorgeous. And I've seen a couple of reviewers that seem to have different tuning keys between different period of time. Okay, so look at that. It's the blue. I was attracted to purple. I was looking for purple, and then looking at the pictures of purple, I thought that the purple had a little bit too much darkness to it, and a little bit too much black in it, and didn't really give me the purple look I was looking for. The wood on the back of this is absolutely also spectacular. Nice color, beautiful color. Let me see if those are the Dario strings or not in there. They appear to be the Dario by the colors, so either they're actual Darios or they're knockoffs, not sure. Maybe I should leave these on for close-up looking. The burl top is really nice. It's smooth, it's satin with the pits. The knobs feel pretty good. Let me look at this switch. Yeah, I expect it to be, yeah, it's a box switch. 3-way, as everybody knows by now. Okay, so of course, noted for their fret end job. They are absolutely perfectly smooth and rounded. The frets are already very gleamy. Now, the only thing that will I'll have to do is, if I find any high ones, is fix them. Absolutely beautiful guitar. Now I've heard people play these pickups. They sound pretty good. I'm going to see what they sound like to me. With the chrome covers, I would have thought that a nice set of white open bobbins would have been nice on here. I like this black bridge. It's very nice. And we will see how it goes. The nut action is pretty good. I think I'm only going to have to, well, the E, low E is good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to have to take down A to high E. It's a little bit higher than what it should be. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's a little bit higher. The string action height is really close. It's a little bit higher than what I would normally play it at. Yeah, definitely higher. The pickup heights are not adjusted. They're flat and too low. Let's see what the tuning keys feel like. People tell me they're nice. They feel about the same as on the Ibanez. Just a about 1/8 of an inch slack in the movement, and they pick up really well. That's good. So I'm really pleased that it looks like it's supposed to. It feels like it's supposed to, from everything that I've seen. So the next thing will be to take it down to the bench, do a setup, and get some sound out of it. I have tuned it up to pitch, stretched the strings while the neck is getting its tension in. There's a tiny little pit, 13, 14 at the fifth, between the 14th and the 15th fret, like a pin hole. The fretboard is nicely polished. Frets are terrific. Won't be able to check for levels until I get the neck straight later. The nut has been very nicely done, except for the height of the strings, but the shaping, the cleanliness of it, the smoothness of the edges, all excellent. The tuning was very easy. They have professional Der, and it's either an L or an F, long tuning machines. There's a little Eart logo right there in the volute. It's very difficult to tell if there's a multiple piece here or not. I think there is one here, maybe there, but not for sure. It's very, very difficult to tell if it's been joined at all. I wonder if we can tell by the end. We cannot. You know, the end makes it look like a solid piece of wood. And you can tell that the veneer on the top is is there, and it's thin. It's very thin, but it's there. Has these little knots in it. The pickups are basically, they're not rocking, they are been mounted right to the floor, which is why they're too low. So I need to let the neck bow up a little bit and then recheck tuning. Even with the strings that are basically, they're all set at 5/64 straight across, I will want 4 or 3 at least at this stage. I'll get them down to that before I'll take it to the amp. And later in the second phase, once I start looking inside and doing some other stuff that might need to be done in there, I'll take down the nut and then readjust the action height, because when you bring down the nut, you know, a thou or so, that changes the height of the string here, which you have to bring up again. So I need to get it down to where I want it, so that I know where to bring down the action of the nut. And then once that comes down, I know it drops it here, so then you bring it back up and then you recheck over there. And sometimes you need to go back and make a tiny little adjustment. So between the action here and the nut action there, you've got to balance this out, all the while having the tension on the neck with all the other strings. So this is the way I do it. I'll do it one string at a time. Right now the truss rod will need a tightening up adjustment. There is a rod, but it's half the length of the rod that came with the Telecaster. I guess they figured they could save. I guess they figured they could save and make 2 out of 1. It works at that length anyway. And now I've got two other Allen keys. This is obviously for those. What would this one be for? Ah, this might be for the knobs on here. Yes, this is for the knobs. They gave me the key for that. While I'm there, let's unloosen, or loosen, unloosen. Unloosen would be to tighten, wouldn't it? Let's see what happens. What kind of knobs, shafts they have underneath here. Okay, they are splines, but they put screwed aluminum knobs. Alright, I'm just going to slightly tighten that for now. So a half a rod, that's good. I've got it in the playing position, and the adjustment on the truss rod at the moment is just about right. Probably could be a little tighter too, but it's really, really close. So I just dropped the action height on the low E, and I was just checking the frets, and I've got buzzing, and especially here. What is that? That's 15th, 16th, 17th fret problem. Haven't touched that string yet. Clear, clear, buzzing, buzzing, muted out completely, clear. So I know I've got the 17th fret as a problem. Okay, I'm just going to go through all the strings and bring them down. As it turns out, my assessment of the low E was good, but the others will all need to be taken down. There may be neck work. I've only taken it down to 4/64 because any lower than that there's too much buzzing along the frets, and the truss rod is holding steady. These are D'Addario strings, but I can feel factory grime on them. Oh, buzzing up here. That's that one. The 17. Little buzz there. These heavier strings have a larger wobble to them. There are going to be fret problems. The tuners are quite good, very responsive. Okay, pickups. I started moving the screws on the pickups. The screws were coming up, but the pickup was stuck to the bottom. They probably have those sponge pads underneath. I kind of got it loose, but I can see that from the tab it's not coming up to the bottom of the panhead screw on either side. It's kind of bobbing up and down, so it'll need proper springs in there, I'm sure. I'm going to see what I can do about getting pickup heights somewhat close. Oh, I've already loosened that one. No, these are not as tight as the neck was. Alrighty, we're back on our basic 65 Deluxe. Turn it on. It's really quiet. No buzzing, no humming. Bridge position. Good sound. I finally got the strings to stop stretching. Everything's at up 10. Middle warms up quite a bit. Not a lot of difference between middle and neck. Tiny little frequency shift, but not much. I don't think you'd notice. maybe some jazz stuff could be played way down there, but for me it just doesn't have the brightness to it that I like. So it makes really nice sound. Now that's all clean. Let me turn on the overdrive thing there and see what it, see how high that's up. Just a bit of dirt. So yeah, next step will be to take a look inside. Aha. They have a little cutout they routed in the back plate to allow the height of the switch to fit in. Yeah, the body on this is quite thin. I noticed that it was a bit thinner than some of my other guitars by a tad. So in order to keep the top about the same kind of thickness, the height of this switch was problematic. That means that a fender blade switch would probably suffer the same fate. So let's see. I think there's a cover here for the jack, and that's because there's a big nut on the back here for the jack. So that's what they've done in there. This jack, it's hard to see in this light. There it is. So there's full-size pots in this Eart box switch, and a polystyrene dial of capacitor. There's a very strange wire I noticed right here. It's a green, and it's being screwed into the wood right here. There's no shielding or anything in here, so I'm kind of curious as to why that's screwed into the wood. And they are 2-wire pickups, not splittable. Other than that, it's very clean, so you can definitely tell the difference in the Eart brand #1 and the better quality that you get of manufacturing and finish compared to a $200 guitar. This one cost me $4.29 Canadian with $12 and I think 81 cents shipping from China. $12.81. To ship something from Canada to US and backwards is $80+ and sometimes up as high as 100, 110 American, just to go across our two borders which are connected. Now if I had bought this on eBay, it would have cost me $4.99, and the shipping I think is more than the $12.81. For some reason 50's in my head, but I may be wrong on that. Plus I would have paid all of the 13% Canadian tax on it, and I still would have paid the duty of $22.81 to get it out of customs. So by going directly to Eart on their eBay store, I got it for $4.29 and $12.81 shipping, $22.81 for customs duties. So I saved some money going direct. And in Canada they don't stock these at Amazon, which you'd get them like the next day. In Canada these ones are shipped directly from China. So I'm thinking, if I'm going to get it shipped directly from China and have to wait anyhow, I might as well save the money, and it's the same amount of waiting time. Alright, next step will be working on the nut. Smells like bone. All the way. So I've finished all of the setup adjustments except for checking the frets yet, but the nut is cut, action height is where I want it, and it's feeling much better. Much easier to play now. So next thing will be to loosen the strings and get the frets checked out. I was worried about the neck angle, but it looks like the neck angle is pretty good. So I'm not going to worry too much about that right now. I'm likely going to have to remove the neck to fix the frets, especially the one that's up here at 17. I don't want to take a chance of trying to do it around a nice body. So that'll be the next thing to do. Disconnect. Let's see what's going on there. I've removed the neck, and the neck pocket is not tight like some. There's side to side movement, which We've got to get exactly right with the screws now for alignment of the strings. And just to show that Eart is not infallible, here on the back cavity cover area, they over-drilled this hole by some large amount. They put filler in there. I'm not sure what the filler is, but it broke up pretty easily on removal of the screw. As a matter of fact, little bits of sawdust is all over my pad from it. Alright, it's fully taped, and so far I've found 12 frets that have high spots. So I'll need to work on those before I can check the adjacent frets once they're down. I want to make a point about the heel end of the neck here. Once I have them level across these minus the last one, I learned on my last Eart guitar and all guitars now that you can't measure this one because there's no other fret. So my plan is always now to take this one down lower so that this one that I've already worked on and made level over here becomes a rocker, so that I know this one is lower, because I ended up with a guitar or two where the last fret, unable to check it, was high and still choking out, and I have to put a message on my maintenance board to go back and do that the next time I have it off. Getting close to the end of this way. So far it hasn't gone too badly. To the steel wool. Even stainless steel reacts to steel wool. See the darker ones down here versus the lighter ones? That's when they get super shiny. And this, boys and girls, is another finished neck. You know, these frets come in pretty shiny, but guess what? You can make them even better. It is back together, and it came with a set of 10s on it. And since I have a 10 pack of a set of 10s, I'm going to put 10s on it again. By the way, don't forget to always wash your hands very well before mounting strings with a good grease cutting dishwashing liquid. This is the beginning of when strings start to become contaminated when you first touch them. And these ones are excellent, absolutely excellent. I think these are the best tuners I have on any guitar I've got. Well, this baby is done for now, and thanks for watching this episode. Don't forget to subscribe up there, and hit the link there for some sound.